This custom mug is making over $18,000 revenue per month. Custom mugs is a great product to be selling on Etsy. I've personally made over 6 figures selling custom mugs. My buddy Jesse's probably made over 7 figures selling custom mugs. And I know a few other sellers who just recently started selling custom mugs and they absolutely love it. So I wanted to make a full tutorial on how to sell custom mugs on Etsy. We're gonna create a winning design inside of Canva. We're gonna set up the products inside of Printify, and then we're gonna get everything set up inside of HelloCustom to automate the personalization once these products start to sell. So before we can actually create the design inside of Canva, we're gonna go over to Printify in order to get a design template for a mug. So I'm gonna go ahead and search for mug. And for this video, I'm gonna select their best seller right here. Scroll down and choose a print provider. In this case, there's just the one. Click on Start Designing. And then if you scroll down to the very bottom right of their editor, it shows you the print file requirements for this mug. The print area will be 2,475 by 1,155 with a maximum resolution of 30,000 by 30,000 pixels. So this is gonna be the size of, essentially the shape of the design. But what we need to do next is to get right here, you can download their design template. And this is essentially gonna give us this template right here that we can upload into Canva to make sure when we put our designs onto the template that they line up with the two sides of the mug, whether it's left-handed or right-handed. So we're gonna go ahead and download this template and then head back over to Canva. So to create this design inside of Canva, I'm gonna click on Create a Design in the top right, Custom Size, and in this case, I'm gonna do 4,950 by 2,310. Essentially 2 times the size of the Canva template. I like to go about 2 times the size, but have no one size be bigger than 5,000 pixels. I'm gonna click on Create New Design. So normally before I start creating my designs inside of Canva, I go through my entire market research process. Essentially, what designs do I wanna put on this product? If you wanna see my entire market research process, I recommend that you go to my YouTube channel and watch this video here. But for this video, we're gonna do a personalized birth flower mug design. Birthday is one of the 10 niches that I personally sell in. It's an evergreen event that happens every single day that helps result in more daily consistent sales. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is paste in the template that we downloaded from Printify. I'm gonna make this template the max height and the max width of our canvas here. The next thing that I do is I go over to Elements. I grab a line. I make it 90 degrees vertical. And then I put one placeholder line here on these dotted lines right here. I make a copy of this, and then I make another line placeholder on these dotted lines here. Essentially what these are is we're gonna put the graphic on both sides of the mug in case someone is left-handed or if they are right-handed. And this allows us to know that when this graphic wraps around the mug, that the alignment is perfectly on the side here, and then this version is perfectly on the side here. Now we can go ahead and delete this template. Perfect, so now we have a more clean canvas to create our design, but still having our placeholders for the left-hand side of the mug and the right-hand side of the mug. So regarding the design for the personalized birth flower mug, as you guys know, I'm not a graphic designer, and a lot of the designs that I do is a clip art plus a layer of personalization. So I personally go to a website called Creative Fabrica, where you can type in birth flower clip art, and Creative Fabrica has a huge library of birth flower clip arts that you can use for your design. I'll include a link in the description below. So I just went and downloaded the following clip arts for birth flower. I'm gonna select the first one for January. I'm going to center this to the line here. I'm gonna add a text element, again, the layer of personalization. I'm gonna type in the name, maybe Samantha. I'm going to change the font to a more scriptic font, maybe like Stoic. Increase the font size to maybe 250 pixels. Put this on the bottom of the flower, center to our line. I'm gonna add another layer of personalization for date. Maybe the birthday, or in this case, maybe just 2023. I might add a little bit of a line spacing here. If it's not cursive, sometimes I put line spacing. If it is cursive, I don't. So maybe some line spacing or some letter spacing of 50. Place this below the name. And then because these are flowers, I might change the font color to a dark brown, so that way it looks more like dirt. So I'm gonna select the font, go over to color, type in brown, and select a dark brown. And then I'm going to go ahead and group the 3 elements together, everything but the line here. And the reason why I'm going to do this is because I want the design, without any extra padding on the top or the bottom, to be centered to the line, but also centered to the height of our canvas. That way it's centered on the mug. I'm going to create a copy of this group and move it over to our second line over here. Again, centered to that line and centered to the height. Now I can go ahead and delete the line here and delete the line here. And this is a personalized birth flower mug design where they have the personalized name and the personalized year. So as you guys know, I like to do design variations where the design variation in this case would be the birth flower. So there would be a variation for January, a variation for February, for March. So I'm gonna go ahead and create those variations now. All right, so I just got done completing the 12th variation for the 12th month for our personalized birth flower mugs. This is pretty easy, right? For the mugs, a lot of the mugs that we sold were just a clip art of something, and then below the clip art was the name and a date. For example, like a watercolor elephant for an elephant mug, or a watercolor giraffe for a giraffe mug. The designs for the mugs do not need to be that complicated, and I would say about 80% of the mug designs that we sold were this layout right here. And again, we sold like 6 figures of mugs ourselves. So now that we have our mug designs created, the next step that we're going to do is go over to Printify to create these 12 products. All right, so we're going to go back over to Printify. We're going to search for mug. And for the sake of this video, I'm just going to select this one right here. We're going to select our print provider. In this case, there's just the one. Click on Start Designing. And this is where we're going to upload a PNG of the design. So we're going to go back over to Canva. And then for the first product, we're going to do the first variation, which is January. So we're going to click on Share, Download, PNG, Transparent Background, and we're just going to do the current page, which is page 1, and Download. And then we can drag in our PNG here. All right, perfect. So the next thing that I do is normally I click on Product Variants, but in this case, they only have the one color and the one size. So I'm going to click on Update. And before we click on Save Product, I like to click on the Preview just to make sure that the left and the right-hand side of the mug looks correct. So as you can see, if someone is left-handed, it is centered. And then if they are right-handed, the design is also centered for a right-handed hold. So I'm gonna click on Save Product. And then because we're gonna do design variations for this listing, I'm gonna click on Save as Draft. If you just want this one design for one Etsy listing, you can go ahead and publish this over to your Etsy account, but I'm gonna go ahead and click on Save as Draft. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do that 11 more times for our other design variations. All right, so I just finished creating all of the other products inside of Printify. Essentially what I did was I made a copy of the first product 11 more times. I swapped out the design with the correct design variation, and I gave them all of the following titles: Birth Flower Mug January, February, March, all the way through December. So now that we have all of the products created unpublished on Printify, we can now go over to Etsy, create the listing, and SKU link everything into the one Etsy listing. Alrighty, so once you're signed into your Etsy account, you can click on Listings, and then add a listing in the top right corner here. So I just essentially want to show you how to SKU link those 12 products to this one Etsy listing. If you want to see a video on how I do my Etsy SEO, I recommend that you go to my YouTube channel and watch this video here. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to fill in all of the required fields that have the asterisk here with filler information. For example, I just grabbed this graphic here from Printify to be able to put the listing image here. For the title, I'm just going to put title here. About this listing, who made it, another company or person, it is a finished product, and it was made to order. For the category, I'm going to put in mug. For description, and then you will have to add your production partner here. For the price point, I might do $11.99, quantity $9.99. And again, I'm just putting placeholder information here. So I do recommend that you watch the SEO video to understand how I do my pricing, the quantity, the titles, the tags, the images, etc. Everything and how to do SEO for a listing, I explained in much detail in that video. So scrolling down for variations, I'm going to click on Add Variation. I'm going to create a new variation, and I'm going to title the variation Month. And then I'm going to add all of the months, January through December here. All right, perfect. And because color or size was not a variation for our production partner, the only variation we're going to have is the month. And then we're going to click on SKUs vary for each month. Scroll down and click on Save and Continue. So now there is a SKU input box for each month variation. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to Printify. We're going to grab the SKU for each month product and paste that SKU in right here. So to do that, we're going to go back over to Printify. For January, I'm going to click into the January product. I'm going to scroll down until we see the variants. I'm going to copy this SKU number here. I'm going to go back over to Etsy and I'm going to paste that SKU here. For February, we're going to go back over to Printify. Scroll down to February. Scroll down to variants. Again, copy the SKU for the February product and paste it under February. I'm going to go ahead and do that for the other 10 months now. And last but not least, December. So now when this SKU sells on Etsy, Printify knows to ship our April mug. Alternatively, when this SKU sells on Etsy, Printify knows to ship our October mug. So scrolling down, we are going to turn personalization on as this is a personalized product. Feel free to add any instructions here. We will select a shipping profile, add any return policies, and then click on Publish. All right, perfect. So our January birth flower mug listing is live. I'm going to go ahead and do this 11 more times for February through December. And now that we have everything live on Etsy, the next step is to get everything set up on HelloCustom. That way, when these start to sell on Etsy, HelloCustom will automatically personalize the graphics for you. And if you're integrated with Printify, it will automatically fulfill the products too. So to do that, I'm going to head over to HelloCustom. I'm going to click on Templates, click on Add New, and then this is where you can upload a PDF of the design that we created inside of Canva. HelloCustom will take the PDF and convert it back to an editable template. So I'm going to head back over to Canva. For the January variation, I'm going to click on Share, Download, PDF Print, just the current page 1, and then RGB Color Profile, Download. And then you can go ahead and drag in the PDF here, where HelloCustom will convert this back into an editable template. This takes about 5 seconds to do. All right, perfect. So as you can see, HelloCustom took that PDF and was able to convert it back into an editable template. So to create a template inside of HelloCustom, the first thing we need to do is give the template a title. So in this case, I'm going to type in birth flower mug January. The next thing we need to do is tell HelloCustom what product on Etsy does this design belong to. So we're going to click on product variants, where HelloCustom is going to pull in all of your Etsy listings here. Since we have the SKU for each design inside of each listing, I'm just going to click into the December listing here. I'm going to unselect all, and then I'm just going to select the January listing. So when this one SKU sells on Etsy, HelloCustom will know to use this graphic here. Click on Update. And the last thing that we need to do is tell HelloCustom what inside this graphic needs to be personalized. So we have a name and a date for the left-hand side of the mug and a name and a date for the right-hand side of the mug. So I'm going to go ahead and click onto this text element here. The first thing that we're going to do is set the max allowance. This is essentially how long would I like the text to get before I want HelloCustom to dynamically make the font size smaller to fit inside of this text box here. When it is personalized, I want it to be center aligned. You can make it left aligned, right aligned, all caps. We are adding a curve feature, so stay tuned for this. And lastly, this is a name. So I'm gonna click on tags and click on name. When you tag a text element that is meant for personalization, HelloCustom needs to have this font in your account to know what all of the letters and the characters look like. So if you do not have that font inside of your account, you will have to add it to your account before we can publish this template. So the font that is missing is called Stoic. So to add a new font to your font library, we're gonna go ahead and click onto the font here. There is a button called Add, and this is where you can upload the font. In this case, we're gonna be adding a font called Stoic. And then while you're uploading the font, you have the ability to name the font here. The reason why we do this is sometimes the name of the font in the PDF is different than the name of the font that you upload. We need those two names to match exactly for HelloCustom to make the connection. So in this case, the name that the PDF is calling this font is Stoic, and the name that we uploaded was Stoic. So this is correct. Sometimes the name of the font that you upload might be Stoic-Basic, or Stoic-Normal, or Stoic-Italic. So make sure that you make the name match what the PDF is calling the font. Make sure that you own the font. Click OK. So now this font is being added to our font library. Once added, this error message should go away perfectly. The next one on the left-hand side of the mug is going to be the date. And then we're going to tag this one as date. And then we also do not have this font inside of our font library on purpose. So another cool feature that HelloCustom has, and which works great for dates, because some fonts, the numbers look very, very similar, where you don't have to go download and upload this font just for a 2023 or a 2024. There is another font that is similar enough to where you can get away with using a similar font. So the font slider, as you slide through our available fonts, this will dynamically change. So that way you can kind of see a font that looks close enough. So maybe this font looks close enough. So now the Antic font is what we're going to use for the date. So for this one here, we're going to change the font to Antic. Click onto fonts. The document fonts is Antic. And then we were going to set the max allowance for Samantha and tag this one also as name. Again, quick reminder here is you want to tag both sides as the name, both sides as the date. That way both sides of the mug is properly personalized. One other thing to point out here is HelloCustom can only map one graphic per product. That's why we are putting both sides of the mug on this one graphic. That way when this one graphic is wrapped around the mug and pressed, both sides are on the product. All right, perfect. So now that the template has a title, we've selected the SKUs, and we've tagged everything that is meant for personalization, we can go ahead and click on Save As and Active. Since this product is white, we don't need to put a transparent background. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave the background as non-transparent for the mug, but feel free to make the background transparent, and this will publish the template. All right, perfect. So we just created the template for our January variation. I'm gonna go ahead and create the templates for February through December now. Alrighty, so I just got done creating all 12 templates for the personalized birth flower mugs. And the cool thing about this is now when these products sell on Etsy, HelloCustom will automatically personalize the graphics for us. For example, if a shopper maybe clicks into our January birth month flower mug here, they select January, and they might type in for the personalization, can the name be Kendra, and the date be, let's say, 2022. And then add to cart and purchase this product, HelloCustom will automatically personalize this graphic and display it for your approval in our approval queue. You will see a thumbnail of the personalized graphics side by side with the Etsy order information. You'll see the product, the quantity bought, the variation, and what the shopper actually typed in. And in this case, we typed in, can the name be Kendra and the date be 2022? I also added a note to seller, can I get this by the 13th? HelloCustom read this, found Kendra as name, 2022 as date, and made the following graphic. HelloCustom uses the correct font, the correct color, the correct placement, and best of all, the correct personalization. And when everything looks correct, all you have to do is click approve, and then if you are integrated with Printify, this will automatically be fulfilled too. That's pretty incredible, right? What used to take 2 to 5 minutes to personalize the graphic on the front end, and then 2 to 5 minutes to update the order on Printify, can now be done with a simple click of a button. Well, that's it for this video, guys. Essentially, we went over everything that you need to do to start selling custom mugs on Etsy. If you got value in this episode, please feel free to give the video a thumbs up and maybe share it with a friend who might get value out of it as well. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next week.